Okay, guys, it's Penelope in London, and what I'm doing is just a really short video just to put some stuff out there to try and keep us balanced and to understand what's going on in society currently. It's very deep stuff on from an evolutionary point of view that we're going through, and this can be seen through astrology quite deeply. There's a lot of anger going on currently with we've got Mars hitting Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, and there's a lot more going on in astrology. It's never one thing. But if we can look at the understanding of what it is to be human, that we're all born and that we all have parents or, somebody caring for us as a child. So I'd like to just point this out, which is Alice Miller. And Alice Miller wrote this. She said, "We were compelled to gratify our parents' unconscious needs at the cost of our own self-realization, and we need to experience the rebellion and the mourning aroused by the fact that our parents were not available to fulfill our primary needs." In alignment with that, we've just had Uranus, which is to do with long-term memory and trauma and imprints, possibly this life, past life, however we want to define our own reality and what we believe. We all believe something different. That I believe that I've more than this human body, that I'm a soul, soul-based human in a body, and that I'm experiencing where I want to be breaking free of the structures that have been imposed upon me by patriarchy and reality. And yes, we all have to follow rules to some degree, but we're being very stuck and stagnant as human beings. And COVID has come along and it's shattered the illusions. COVID is very Neptunian in the sense that it can't be seen. So Neptune is way out there. It's beyond the five senses. So how these things link in with astrology are fascinating. And, dreams as well, Neptune, it's like, our dreams and our beyond this realm. In our sleep time, we still have a reality going on that affects us. We get affected by our dream states. So if we've had difficult childhoods, which most of us have, even if it wasn't from our parents. Some of us have had heinous stuff, but, just being human has been really, really, it's a really difficult thing. So how do we get through this? And one of the ways is that Carl Jung would have said, look at the shadow, look at that shadow in us. Like we all think we wouldn't do something. If we look at, the war, where Germany had a belief system, to get rid of a race of people as an example. And this is just looking at history. I'm not picking on anything in particular, but where everybody believed something in particular and everybody followed along. So we need to really at this time be our authentic selves and choose, what do I believe in? What's right for me? There are a lot of rules and regulations being thrown around at the moment, and that's probably going to get more intense for us, which is going to bring up a lot of anger. We can see with parts of Europe being cut off, told if they come back to the UK, they've got to quarantine. This is really hard for us at the moment, and we've got to really get into self-care and, healing that wound in us that really hurts. So the next slide, so the point is that I will say before I move on, where she says to experience the rebellion and mourning aroused by the fact that our parents were not available. So take that word parents and just look at it as, the bigger picture, whoever's come before us, and where we've not had our primary needs met as adults, we need to now meet our own primary needs, and I would even say that even with our relationships, I was listening to some work done by Simon Vorster the other day, who's got Raising Vibrations, and beautiful video on YouTube, if you check that out, on the idea of Mars, and not Mars, but the moon, the Leo moon, and how, we're being affected and how the masks are now really falling. It's like, who are we? What do we want for ourselves? So we have to fulfill our own primary needs. I just want to move this slide forward. Then what we've got, when we avoid our triggers, as this says, avoiding your triggers isn't healing. Healing happens when you're triggered and you're able to move through the pain, the pattern, and the story, and walk your way to a different ending. So I know myself, having had a lot of trauma in childhood, it's like, what is the different ending? It's like, I'm done with repeating the story, but clearly the story has some value in it that I can share with other people, how I've got to this point and how I intend to go beyond that. And we've all got a story that can help other people, and which is our gift. You know, the story is not a gift, but the gift that it's the pain, the wound that becomes the gift. That's through Chiron, our wound, and through our maturity. Then we have this I found, and I can't recall where I found it from. I'll try and find the source for this, but and think about this before you jump into this, because this could be very triggering. It's like, for me, I'm going to read number one, but you know, don't jump into this straight away. Take this just as I'm reading it, and then think about it afterwards. You know, think of one of your most shaming experiences from childhood, and now think of what you wish someone has said to you right after that experience. So you now think of what you wish someone would have said to you right after that experience. So it could have been, wow, I shouldn't have done that. Wow, I'm sorry. Or I didn't mean that. Or I said that wrong. Or, you know, being somebody really having empathy, knowing that what they were doing was wrong. If you're getting the drift of where I'm coming from here. So going on, what would have been the most helpful and healing thing for you to hear at that time? Write this statement down on a bit of paper. So it could have been, you know, an incident that happened, and then somebody really having the empathy and the oh my God, that should not have happened to you. You know, I'm here to protect you, and I love you and I care for you. And we're losing that right now in society, because everybody's going inward and cutting each other off from each other because of the COVID thing and the mask thing and the this thing. We need to really be caring for ourselves, but also caring for the people that do, you know, our friends that do listen to us and love us and care for us as well. Number two, imagine that someone you care about very much, someone you admire, is saying those words to you now. Hear those words in your ears, take those words into your heart, and notice how those words make you feel. So this is part of the healing journey. We can take each event that was really tragic for us and really turn it around. Number three, now say those words out loud to yourself. Take a deep breath and really take in those words. How does hearing yourself say those words out loud make you feel? So for instance, one of the things I heard often was, what's wrong with you, child? Like really unconscious parenting. And that affected me quite badly through my life, where I would, as an adult, replay that, you know, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with me at all. I'm a fabulous human being who's got, you know, I've got wonderful relational skills. I'm very caring. I'm very kind. So we have to really turn these things around that were said to us, because they're no longer happening. They're no longer real. And even when they happened, most of these things generally happened through people who were unconscious. So we need to rewrite the script. And then something to think about. I know we're jumping ahead of ourselves with this thing, what's going on now, but we look 10 years ahead, you know, and think, you know, what do I want for myself? What can I do today, tomorrow, this week that's going to, you know, alleviate and begin to work for me? So for something I was doing earlier last year was I was drinking celery juice every day. I did it straight for 6 months, and I stopped doing it for some reason. And I realized I've picked up where I left off, and I started drinking celery juice. As a simple example for my health, the last 48 hours, I've done it. You know, you wake up, the first thing you do in the morning is if you've got a juicer, drink celery juice. It's like just something that simple can change something in you, in your body, in your structure, and make you feel better. You know, your body gets to work better and be more aligned. There's so many things you could do at this time. You could learn to use, you know, Word. You could learn to use the computer. You could learn to, you know, just do a course online to learn something, or read something that you've never read before that you've always wanted to read. You know, use this time effectively is the point. Every day adds up. You know, I know, for me, I say I know, my plans, my intentions, know where I'm going to be in 2 years from now. And they're good intentions, and my intentions involve helping other people to evolve as well, as I am evolving too. You know, we're all doing it day by day, bit by bit. And then last but least, imagery is really important. You see this beautiful image here. The imagery can affect the way we feel. And if you look at this and you can see the circle here, you know, the circle, the cycle of life, and then we have a bird, you know, that could be freedom. And then we've got this beauty around us. So, you know, immerse yourself in beauty where and when you can. If you can't do it in reality, then, you know, do it through visuals on social media, you know, collect pictures. There's something called unsplash.com. You can go to unsplash.com. You can get free pictures like this. That's where I got this one. Okay, that's it. I'm leaving it there, but this is just a bit of information as a pick me up for us all. Okay, catch you later.